Hey everyone, this is Dean, and welcome to Strange But Real. This is the first episode of this YouTube series. I'm just starting this channel out, so bear with me. We're going to get into some strange and unusual stories, but these are stories that I'm going to be getting out to you guys. I'll try to get these out a couple times a week if I can, and probably more as we go along here. It just depends on my schedule. But I want to get these stories out to you guys, and basically I want real stories. So if you guys have any unusual stories, which if you're watching this I'm sure you do, I would love to hear it. You can email me. The email is strangebutrealstories@gmail.com, and on the intro of this video that email will be posted on there, so look out for that email. It's also in my YouTube description. You can click on my channel and get that email address as well. I left the link to get to the email address, so please send in your stories. I'd love to hear them. You can remain anonymous if you choose to, but I'll be reading these on these videos for you guys. So I'd love to hear your guys' encounters, because we've all encountered some kind of strangeness out there. So whether it's Bigfoot, aliens, ghosts, whatever it is, anything strange and unusual, I'd love to hear it. So we'll get into the first story here, and I'll share this with you. And eventually, sometime, I'll share with you guys my personal strange experience that I had when I was younger, me and my brothers. So I'll get into that on another video. I'm going to read a story today or two for you from a book that's about real strange stories until I get some people emailing me their stories. So I do have some people that I know personally that are going to be emailing me, so I'll get those out to you guys as soon as I can, as soon as I receive them. But go ahead and email me and I'll get these out to you guys. Let's start with the first one here. It's called Dogman in Southern California. This is a story that I've been reluctant to tell until I got your information. Even then, I wasn't even sure, hence why I'm not giving my name. So this guy's remaining anonymous. I was still in the Marine Corps and stationed at 29 Palms. We were in the field doing some training, typical ops, nothing special. I was a member of a tank battalion. I don't want to give any more information than that. But anyway, we were out in the field, and after a day of training we had chow, and a few hours before we were going to do some night ops. After eating a healthy portion of slop, I needed to relieve myself, if you know what I mean. Well, there's no heads or bathrooms out where we train sometimes, so armed with an e-tool, a small shovel, and TP, I ventured out rock outcropping. I had just finished and was preparing to come back when I heard the patter of feet, or that's what I thought they were. I looked around and could still see as the sun had just set, leaving me with enough ambient light to make out things. As I scanned around, I didn't see anything. With no concern, I started back for my tank, but again stopped when I heard the patter again. I turned around and hollered out, "Whoever's out there effing around, please stop." The patter stopped behind a large boulder. I picked up a decent-sized rock about the size of a tennis ball and threw it at the boulder. I hollered out that whoever was out there best stop or they'd get a boot where the sun don't shine. I waited for a reply, but there wasn't any. I turned again and started for my tank when a rock about the same size landed just in front of me. Seeing that I was pissed, I spun around and unloaded a string of curse words. I figured it was someone from my unit, so I wanted to find out who it was. I marched towards a boulder, made my way around, but no one was there. I did hear the patter go behind another large boulder some 10 feet away. I was annoyed beyond words and made my way there, cursing the entire time. When I walked around that boulder, I again couldn't find anyone, but, like before, heard the patter. I let out a few more choice words, even raised a middle finger, and headed back to my unit. I had just assumed it was one of the pranksters from my company. I cleared the first boulder and was stopped in my tracks when I heard what sounded like a scratching behind me. The best way I can describe it was like someone had thick nails and they were scraping it along the side of the rock. I turned the top of the first boulder was a creature. It was black, covered in first legs. It covered in fur. I'm assuming it's covered in fur, and had long arms like a human. The arms were powerful looking, and it ran its left hand along the rock, making the sound again, which I knew was its nails. I kept staring at it and made it out that it was a human-like body, but its legs were that of a canine, and its head was definitely like a wolf or a dog. With a long snout and canine fangs, its hair was long and thick. It appeared to be matted in places. It gave me a look that said I was about to become a meal. I took a few steps back and then remembered I had my e-tool still open. If I thought about it while making a move, I was going to do as much damage to it as I could. I wasn't about to go down without a fight. As I took careful step backwards, our eyes locked. It shook like a dog does, its body twisting quickly, then stood. It was then I got a good look at how big this thing was. It must have been close to 7 feet tall, and its head resembled the Egyptian dog Anubis, or the Egyptian god dog Anubis. So you guys have seen those Anubis statues from the Egyptians. That's apparently what its head looked a lot like. I figured it was going to attack, so I stopped, stood tall, and I'm about 6 feet, and clenched the e-tool. The thing looked at me and opened its arms like it was doing a chest fly exercise and let out a howl. If I hadn't already taken a dump, I would have taken one right there. Yeah, I would have too, I'm sure. I was calculating just how I'd fight the thing and how I was hoping I had my weapon, although if I had, I didn't have any rounds. It was like we were in a Mexican standoff, either waiting to attack the other. Then, out of nowhere, a flare went up. It exploded and bathed the darkening desert in a red glow. The creature looked up at the flare, then back at me. I'm thinking now it's going to leap from the boulder and come at me, but instead, it turned and jumped off. I heard it running through the rock outcropping away from me. That was my cue to do the same thing. I spun around and sprinted away. Upon returning, my CO asked me where I had been, and just as I had about to detail the encounter, I stopped. I knew telling them what I had seen would put me in trouble, if not have me sent for a psych evaluation. I apologized and told him some line of BS and then went to work. I was seriously troubled by what I had seen, and to this day I still have nightmares about it. If the flare hadn't scared it, I believe that thing was going to jump me and most likely kill me. I'd done a ton of research on post the sighting and can only think that what I saw to this day was a dogman or even a werewolf. So that's a really interesting story. I personally know some people that have seen dogman. I've never seen one personally, but it could. I mean, if I seen something like that, I would be absolutely terrified. There's no question about it. I did see something when I was younger, and I'll share that story maybe on my next video. But there are things out there that we just can't explain with natural science. And to me, it's like, well, people are like, well, maybe they're hallucinating. Well, people just don't hallucinate randomly out of stuff like that. And a lot of these sightings, there's multiple people that see them at the same time. I know in my situation when I was younger, there was like 6 of us that seen something. So, I don't think we were all hallucinating at the same time. That would be absolutely ridiculous to think that. So, what are these things? That's what everyone wants to know. That's the mystery. So, it's just one of those things out there that you can't explain with conventional science. You can't explain with logic. I mean, they're just things that are happening out there that are strange but real, and that's what this channel is about. So want to get these stories out to you guys. Let me know what you think of this one. I'll be sharing more. I'll try to share my story on the next video. I'm waiting for my a friend of mine to send in his encounter of it, because he was older than me at the time. I think I was like 6 years old maybe, so my memory of it might be a little bit foggier than his, because he was 5 years older than me. So he probably has a little bit of a better memory than I did at that age, and I don't want to like cross my stories with his before I tell it. I want to get his point of view and see what he has to say, and then I'll share my point of view of the story as well. So that'll be an interesting video coming up for you guys. I'll try to do that next one. It depends on if he gets me his version of the story emailed before the next video. So we'll just have to see. Depends on how busy he is. But Either way, I'm going to be getting these videos out to you guys. Make sure you share your story with me. I'd love to hear it. There's no judgment on this channel. I'm not going to mock anyone because, you know, your story is your story. It was real to you, so I'm going to share it. I can't prove that it was real. That's not the point of this channel. The point of this channel is to share people's stories that they believe were real and their experiences, and that's what we're going to do. And we're going to have a community of people here to discuss these things and support each other. And that's what this channel's for. It's not to mock anyone, and anybody who gives constructive criticism is fine. But if you're being negative and you're just slamming people for no particular means other than to harass people, just don't leave a comment on this channel, because it'll get deleted and you'll get blocked. So I'm not going to put up with that. But I just want to have a friendly atmosphere for you guys out there. I'm going to get my studio set up a little bit better than this. I got some stuff coming that'll set up the studio better than what it's at now. It's just my first video that I want to get out to you guys. But this is a Bigfoot painting that I had. Someone did, and I bought it a while back at Bigfoot convention in the Smoky Mountains north of Georgia. So really cool artist. I forget her name, but she does some really good work. As you guys can see, I'll share this with you guys here. She actually hand painted this drawing. If I can get her name, it's been several years, I will, but she did fantastic work, so I picked it up. And let's see, her name is Alex, but I don't remember her last name, so she signed the back of it for me. But yeah, really cool painting. But get your stories out to me, and I hope you like this one. And that's all I've got for this episode of Strange But Real. We'll see you on the next one.